it seems the Barbie movie, produced by Greta Gerwig and starring Margot Robbie, has the potential to transform the toy giant Mattel into a cinematic powerhouse, or at least that's what they would like to believe. However, as Mattel looks to the film to solidify its recent stability, it has some concerns that are arising about the film's content and marketing strategies. In fact, there are critics in the healthcare sector that worry about the company's decision to supply Barbie dolls to schools, while others in the entertainment industry see the film as a pivotal moment for Mattel's future. The movie's success could catapult Mattel into a new set of content categories, but if it falters, it may damage the American brand's recent progress. And Mattel's bosses speak out about their tainted, divisive vision, which is quite evident in the film, the film's slow slog to its creation and fruition, and the importance of female perspectives in storytelling. Now, I'm sure this is going to be very interesting, so here we go.
I am a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
So it was a long way to Mattel's film venture this time. Under the leadership of Jan Kreitz, Mattel sought to become an IP-driven machine, expanding into movies, TV shows, stage productions, and of course, theme parks. The Barbie movie is the first venture from Mattel Films and aims to create an ambitious and unique piece of content that showcases the brand's iconic doll, just in a very misandrist way. Now, the glitzy marketing campaign that came along with it has further heightened expectations, turning Barbie into a cultural sensation of sorts on many of the social media platforms. And as this is the first film in the pipeline, 17 others currently in various stages of development and production, this film could possibly get Heinerscheited, and it would wreck Mattel for years to come. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of people coming at this from the woman's perspective, and in this case, Margot Robbie's involvement was deemed as vital to the project, as she brought her passion and her production company, Lucky Chap Entertainment, to the table, making this all possible. And of course, the choice to have a female writer-director in Greta Gerwig was central to telling the ultimate misandrist intersectional story. And that lies at the very dark, cold heart of this film called Barbie. Now, Mattel pledged to put filmmakers first and to trust them to deliver a bold and impactful, wide-sweeping lie without, any overt interference on their part. It would be ironic, of course, if all this man-hating material being put forth by women and writers and directors are just a reflection of what their own industry has put them through over the years. And that would be, more than a bit telling. I imagine it's also probably partly true. So now we have to get around the idea of navigating risks. And while the film's early reviews were very positive, there are no guarantees in the entertainment industry. And now that the regular audience is reviewing the film and you're seeing word of mouth, it's revealing just how vile and overtly mean-spirited, man-hating, and neo-Marxist this film actually is. Although it seems to be largely ignored by a lot of the younger folks in the audience, not quite paying attention to the fact that this film just doesn't have any place for men at all. It thinks very little of them and basically would like them to go away. In fact, it's quite clear that Mattel is trying to pattern their films overall in the same successful structure of the franchises like, let's say Marvel. However, this proven IP model has recently faltered because largely it's been diving into the same kind of political area that this film Barbie has, decided to wade into and then splash around in the deep end. And this is making the stakes for Mattel even higher. Yet, the Barbie movie's premise is high ESG adherence and execution of, a very mean-spirited film, has inspired a lot of confidence among the company's executives. The film doesn't shy away from addressing critiques of male leadership and even pokes fun at corporate America through one of its characters, played by Will Ferrell, as I talked about in my review. And all of this has to do with an overall evolution in Barbie, and perhaps in the toy industry itself. See, Barbie's journey to the big screen was a long and complex one, and you may have heard about it before. It bounced between several studios, including Sony, where it was, subject to exposure, some really rough exposure through some leaked emails. Thank you, Amy Pascal. Along the way, the film had varied actors and directors cycling through, including Amy Schumer, who left because the film wasn't feminist enough. Well, I'm telling you right now, Tom speculates that perhaps this script didn't change all that much between Amy's film and Margot's film. And yet, of course, Greta and her husband, who's referred to as a collaborator for this project, are getting the writing credit for this cultural revolution propaganda piece. Now, Mattel eventually reclaimed the rights from the other studios to finally realize its vision through, obviously, well, Margot Robbie's production company. And despite initial eyebrow-raising moments when the script was first received, the filmmakers stood firm in their commitment to create the ultimate radical smash the patriarchy narrative. And that completely abandoned, of course, all of the brand's values over the decades that Barbie's been a thing. Now, as I said, there is quite an ambitious future in mind here. Mattel is already eyeing a plethora of projects beyond Barbie, as I previously mentioned, and it's aiming to amplify its products and films in a mutually beneficial partnership. If the Bud Light effect, however, is kicked in against this film, well, leveraging their brand-valued toys could be incredibly damaging. Just ask Hasbro and Warner Brothers how even a slight lean into the neo-Marxist messaging works out. And look at what's happening over at Disney. The entire company is crumbling. However, Mattel hopes to create an impact with its expanding film division, but I'm not sure if they've factored in the potential downside of all this politically heavy-handed stuff. In conclusion, I think that as the Barbie movie has rolled through its opening weekend, which will be rather successful, Mattel is holding its breath, anticipating both triumph and tragedy. The film's success could propel the company to new heights within the entertainment industry in an area where they've been trying to get into for a long period of time. However, any missteps in this field is going to raise a lot of questions about the ambitious endeavor, and it will then be an even more tight high-wire act for them with investors. So as critics keep a close eye on the film's content and marketing strategies, which were incredibly misleading, probably the most bait and switch we've ever seen, Mattel's bosses remain confident to their commitment to the hardcore neo-Marxist messaging and the divisive storytelling. So I don't anticipate a lot of greatness going forward. But from my perspective, it's crucial to approach media, any kind of media, with a very critical eye and engage in discussions about the impact it has upon society. The divisive messaging is, well, just that, and the outright misandry is certainly not going to bring anybody else closer together. It only serves to push people apart. And just like Bud Light has found out, it really does push people very, very far apart. In the case of this Barbie film, it's promoting further divide between men and women. And basically, as I said before, essentially telling women it's okay to hate men. And this is the last thing that we need in our modern world. Anyway, what do you think? What do you think about Mattel's plan to poison more of, well, your childhood and your children's minds with their highly divisive takes on their toy brands? And I don't know that there's any other question I need to ask. So please feel free to leave your comments down below. And I'm sure that we're going to have plenty to talk about here. In fact, I'm certain of it. And with that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.